Hello and welcome. You're with us on Business Today. I'm Abha Vakaya. Here are the day's top stories. Top Maruti Suzuki official reveals the company's new luxury MPV Invicto and plans around it. The Aam Aadmi automaker details its plans to roll out the red carpet in an all-exclusive interview with Business Today TV. Markets rise for the third straight session, but gains are limited as investors eye US Fed rate outcome just about an hour from now. As many as 230 stocks hit their 52-week highs on the BSE. Wholesale price index falls to a three-year low of minus 3.48% in May, can be attributed to a fall in prices of food and fuel and manufactured items. Another Business Today TV exclusive. There could be relief ahead for those anxious about 20% tax collected at source on overseas credit card spend. Tax officials trying to untangle several complications. RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das honoured with the title of Governor of the Year for 2023 by Central Banking in London, recognised for his role in managing inflation and skillfully handling India's banking system during crises like the COVID pandemic and global turmoils. Maruti Suzuki all set to enter the luxury MPV market with a rebadged Toyota Innova Hi-Cross. As part of the Maruti stable, the car will be rechristened Invicto, will be launched on the 5th of July. That the company is in high gear is clearly evident, with the new launch coming just a month after Maruti drove its long-awaited SUV Jimny into the market. Maruti Senior Executive Officer Shashank Srivastava gave us more details on the Invicto and also talks about how the Jimny is faring against the Thar in this exclusive conversation with BTTV's Chetan Bhutani.
Invicto is coming up. Tell us the first thing. What does it mean by Invicto? Is it like the brother sister of Innova, or what is the strategy behind it?
No. Of course, it's a brother sister of Innova Hi-Cross, but the name Invicto is comes from a Latin word which is invictus, and that means unbeatable, invincible. And since this car has everything, great comfort, great experience, great drive, good tech, great features, therefore we thought that a name like Invicto will be quite appropriate.
All right. Shashank, give us those details, the key important details that you can share as of now of the Invicto, the pricing strategy, the details of the vehicle, the platform, and where will it be manufactured.
There's only a limited information I can share at this moment because we have a actual launch planned on the 5th. I can say one launch is on 5th of July. The bookings we start from 19th June, that is next week onwards. It's a premium product. It's got that hybrid technology, the strong hybrid, and this is also our first foray into that segment. And we are enthused with the fact that while our market share in the less than 10 lakh rupee category is obviously very strong, 60% market share or thereabouts, in the 10 to 15 lakh category also, Maruti Suzuki has become the market leader last year with 26% share, and this year it has gone up further to 30%. So we are now getting into this new type of segment and new type of consumers and we are quite excited that if we do it well, then we should be able to make our footprint strong in this segment as well.
For the first time venturing into a 20 lakh plus segment vehicle, how does it feel for a Aam Aadmi vehicle to offering premium products and a premium SUV and an MPV for the first time? What is the company thinking, and how confident are you of good sales numbers in that segment?
Yeah, so that Aam Aadmi that you were saying, the thing which is that less than 10 lakh, although, car ownership in India itself is not the Aam Aadmi thing, but within the biradari of car owners, if you can say 10 lakh, below 10 lakh is Aam Aadmi, then we were already sort of in the Khas Aadmi category already, as I just mentioned, the 10 to 15 lakh and thereabouts with our Vitara, which is doing very well, with our XL6, Ertiga, and so on. So this is like Khasam Khas, greater than 20 lakh. So from Aam Aadmi to Khas Aadmi, who has accepted us, And now Khasam Khas is what we are going to get into. So hopefully we will that Khasam Khas category will also accept us. But by the way, we are already, our Nexa, this vehicle will be launched through the Nexa channel. And there the product itself have got that premiumness, and it's not luxury, but what is known as affordable luxury. So from a affordable category to affordable luxury category to now something which is like it can be bracketed into modern or contemporary luxury sort of vehicle. We are getting into that category now.
Right. Also, Shashank-san, the MPV segment is not new to Maruti Suzuki. In fact, with the Ertiga, the XL6, you have that understanding of how an MPV works. Now, with this Invicto coming up, sir, we are seeing a lot of waiting periods, especially for the Ertiga and the XL6. And with the Invicto also added to the portfolio, do you think that consumers would probably have to face some issues of waiting period again for Invicto as well?
Listen, this is, I think, a temporary situation which we have seen as a consequence of two things. One, the lockdowns that we have had because of the COVID in the last 2 years, and also because of the semiconductor crisis. And hopefully, the semiconductor crisis will get better the production will get better starting from next quarter. And this situation of waiting may not be there forever. However, the product portfolio is planned for a situation, for a normal supply situation. So this temporary situation would go away, and therefore we wouldn't like to introduce new products, even though I understand there are some products which are already in waiting. And hopefully from Q2 onwards, the Ertiga and XL6 production will increase, and that should help us, reduce the waiting periods for those models. Right. And you are right in the.
Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah. So, and I was saying that it is because of the semiconductor crisis that this waiting periods have built up, and once we get over that, then they will come down also. So hopefully that will be the situation, and we move towards better situation in that sense from the next quarter onwards.
Sure, sir. And also, what is the update on Jimny, sir? How many bookings are you doing per day, and how's the response been to the pricing?
So Jimny, we have now cumulative bookings of 31,000 plus. Just above 31,000, and the initial response to the pricing I was looking at, people said that the starting price is higher, starting at 12.7 lakhs, whereas the competing product in this category starts at 10.54. But I think consumers realized that when they went into the details and comparing it with the competing products, which is the Thar in this case. This Jimny has a 5-door, whereas Thar has a 3-door vehicle. Jimny has a 4-wheel drive. The starting vehicle for Thar is 2-wheel drive. Jimny has 6 airbags. Thar has 2 airbags. So this sort of comparison people must have done. And now I see from the social media post that the price is better accepted. And that proof of that is that the number of bookings we are receiving per day after the announcement of the price, that is 7th of June, and today 14th, like 7 days average is about 150 per day, whereas it used to be 92 per day before the announcement of the price. So it does appear that after the price announcement, there is a jump in the per day booking. However, we have to see whether this is a stable sort of pattern, and we have to wait for a few more weeks to see that this is the stable demand which we are seeing today.
There could be some good news for those spending overseas on credit cards. Tax authorities are assessing how they could reduce the compliance burden associated with the proposed 20% tax collected at source on such transactions. A finance ministry source told Business Today TV that the big issue is the difficulty in identifying the nature of the transaction and distinguishing it for tax treatment purposes. BTTV's Karishma Asadani has more on this. Karishma, what are the key issues being discussed by tax officials at this time?
The tax authorities are now assessing how they could reduce the compliance burden associated with the 20% tax collected at source, which is TCS, on the use of credit cards for overseas transactions. In fact, a top official in the finance ministry has told us that there is a clear challenge and difficulty in identifying the nature of the transaction and differentiating it for the tax treatment purpose. We also, of course, know recently that a finance ministry official at one of the public events had also said that the government is looking to soon release these FAQs or clarifications on TCS. If you know that government has recently, of course, brought overseas credit card spending under LRS, that is liberalized remittance scheme, which means that all overseas credit card transactions would attract a 20% tax. Earlier, it was supposed to only be 5%. However, it was in the month of May that government gave a petty relaxation by giving exemption to transactions on international credit card up to 7 lakh from the 20% TCS. Now, while the government, of course, is trying to get this clarification, they've been talking to RBI and banks to identify if there is a way that a tax treatment could be derived, and also to see if there could be a solution without identifying the difference between the personal and business transactions. One of these ways is also by self-certification. As per sources, government is trying to understand if self-certification or some kind of mechanism in the credit card billing could be taken up, which could make a more systemized tax system when the taxpayer is trying to pay these taxes.
Thanks, Karishma. Markets extended their gains for a third session today in a highly volatile trading session. The domestic indices climbed, led by gains in consumer, metals and energy stocks. However, gains were capped by investors looking out for the US Fed outcome. The meeting outcome will, of course, give markets a sense of direction going forward. The deciding committee is to announce this decision in the next hour. The Sensex closed 85 points higher. The Nifty was up 40 points, and that's just 132 points from its lifetime high. Top gainers today: Tata Consumer, Grasim, JSW Steel, Tata Steel and Power Grid. Top laggards in trade: IndusInd Bank, Bajaj Finance, Bharti Airtel, Axis Bank and Hero MotoCorp. Shares of Infosys, TCS, Wipro and other IT services companies in India were under pressure today after a JP Morgan report that the sector may disappoint in the first quarter of FY24. The investment banker, in fact, placed Infosys, TCS and Mphasis on a negative catalyst watch and also downgraded Persistent Systems. My colleague Sakshi Batra spoke with market analyst Shailendra Bhatnagar to find out what this means for the IT names.
Sakshi, let's look at it in the short term and in the longer term. And let's begin with Persistent, the one that you mentioned has been downgraded. Well, you see, Persistent is at 4922 today, down about 120 rupees. It's down about 2%. That's today. But on a 1 year basis, the stock is up 47%, right? So there is nothing to worry. You've had a very sharp rally. And what JP Morgan is basically trying to say that all the good things are priced in. They are baked into the price. So you should not be over enthusiastic, and your expectations should be grounded in reality, because there are disappointments on the way in terms of expectations. So it's better to, you see, profit is what is in your bank, not in the stock price.
Okay.
So unless you book profit, there is no, you see, profit has to be in your bank, not notional.
That's
So
true.
this is a basic round of profit booking that's happening in mid-cap IT.
Okay.
We've seen Persistent, like I said, going up by 46%. If you see KPIT, which is also at a record high 2-3 days ago,
Yeah.
that's, will you believe it, 120% in 1 year.
Yes.
So the price that you see, 1040, it was 520 1 year ago, same time.
Yes.
So these are profit booking tools which are deployed to sort of make one set of investors exit with good profit, make them happy,
Yeah.
and allow the dip in the price to extend a bit so that a new set of investors can get into the bandwagon and rally higher.
Right.
So
Right.
uh, I would say that mid-cap IT valuations are again in unreasonable territory.
Okay.
One, and it's good that profit is being booked, which means that existing investors are exiting happily, and a new set of investors will be coming in at a reduced price from the all-time high that we have seen earlier.
Ports, industries and farming operations in Saurashtra and Kutch region of Gujarat have come to a standstill as cyclone Biparjoy continues its flight towards the state. Among the worst hit are some of India's biggest ports, which handle billions of dollars in business every day. Here's a report by Ashutosh Mishra from Mandavi. Ground zero where the cyclone is expected to make landfall in a few hours.
Winds of up to 150 kilometers per hour, waves up to 5 meters high. Described as phenomenal by the Indian Met Department, this is the weather nightmare Kutch and Saurashtra regions of Gujarat will face on Thursday. Thousands have been evacuated from the regions, with shelters being put up by the state government to house the displaced. And this has brought economic activity in the region to a complete halt. At least 6 crucial ports in the state have downed anchors. While Kutch is home to ports of Jakhau, Mandavi, Mundra and Kandla, Saurashtra coast houses the port of Pipavav and Jamnagar. These ports cater to 38% of the country's geography, and their closure will hit crude oil import and refining by Reliance Industries, Hindustan Petroleum and Indian Oil. The Adani Group, which has a large presence in the area, has also suspended operations. Its Mundra port is the largest commercial port in India and also the largest coal import terminal. The ports are also used by Maruti Suzuki to export its cars. Sanghi Cement and Archean Chemicals use these ports for exports and imports. APMC markets in Jamnagar and Gondal have been closed and may cause a crunch of important food items in the region. Ceramic units in Morbi too have been shut down as precaution. All fishing operations in the area have also been shut down. Work at all these ports have been on a standstill since Monday evening as a precautionary measure, with very dangerous warnings posted all along the coast. The IMD has said it expects damage to buildings, roads, standing crops and flooding of escape routes in the region. The cost to the economy is expected to be in billions of dollars. Previous cyclones left swaths of devastation with a very high cost. The Yas in 2021 left destruction worth 66,000 crores on the east coast of India, and Amphan was much deadlier, setting the economy back by 1.16 lakh crore in 2020. A year before that, Fani resulted in devastation worth 9,336 crore rupees.
Entire coastal Gujarat goes standstill. No transportation, no movement. The Biparjoy has literally halted entire business in the coastal Gujarat, which contributes significant not only to the state's economy but also to the nation's economy. The fishery, one of the key business and the factor here in Kutch region of Gujarat. You see the fishermen have parked their boats because of the fear of Biparjoy cyclone. Now that literally giving a major setback to the business in coastal Gujarat. With this report, in Mandavi with Sanjay Kumar, I am Ashutosh Mishra for Business Today.
In a major boost to regional air connectivity, Assam-based Jettwings Airways will start operations in October. The airline, with its base in Guwahati, plans to offer regional connectivity to passengers under the UDAN scheme to destinations in the northeast and eastern regions initially. BTTV's Karishma Sudani spoke to the airline's co-founder and CEO, Sanjay Aditya Singh, about Jettwings and its plans.
What kind of carrier is this going to be? What kind of aircrafts are you looking to get on board and how many?
See, right now we have, there are in jets, there's an aircraft like Amber 175E. So these are the aircraft that you are looking at,
About
basically.
80 passengers.
Yes, they have in full capacity, they can take 88 passengers. But if you look at our business class and economy configuration, we have to give 12 seats for business class, then it is 74. It comes to 76 seats. So with 64 economy and 12 for business class. So earlier we were in a plan of having a one economy or one premium, but right now we're planning for dual process where we can have a business as well as economy. And about competition with ATRs, competition with Airbus. Airbus is again, they have a high number of seats because always we don't have load of 180. Sometimes you have a load of 70, 75 people or maybe close to 80 people and you fly an 180 seater aircraft. That doesn't make it as a loss configuration. So when you have a 80 people or 90 people load a day and you fly with the aircraft that is 100%, so that is a profit equation. So what happens sometimes, that is why, because the fuel and all burns the same. So that is sometimes these aircrafts are really good for the tier 2 connects and the fast connect. So you got, first of all, you get a linkage like an Airbus, and you have an advantage of flying small. So turnaround time is high, connect is high. So that segment is actually missing in India. Right now, that segment, hardly there are airlines who target that segment. So we are quite niche in ourselves. So the competition is basically with ourselves only.
You don't see competition with Indigo because they do fly across to many states in Northeast.
Not as such, because their the business format is completely different than our business format, and our segment is again different from the segment that Indigo is having. So it's like you can say that there are so many different cars in the market, and people prefer flying Mercedes, driving Mercedes. There are people trying different segment cars also. So it's like that, So we have a segment. India is a big country, 138 crore population. We have a segment who would definitely love, and these are new guys, boys and girls coming up. They are fast. They like fast things. So with the new generations, this kind of aircraft would be very interesting in India,
Here's what else is making news in the corporate world. Accenture has unveiled plans to invest $3 billion over the next 3 years in the data and artificial intelligence space. The IT consulting firm will double the number of its employees to 80,000 working in the AI arena. Notably, the fresh investment and hiring by Accenture in the artificial intelligence space is coming months after it laid off around 19,000 employees in March. A report by Bank of America has said that Apple may shift over 18% of its global production of iPhones to India by 2025. This development comes on the back of the centre's PLI scheme for mobile phones, which aims to encourage companies like Apple and its vendors to expand operations within the country. Recent reports indicate that India's share in global iPhone manufacturing increased from 1% in 2021 to 7% in 2023. The Sarjan Jindal-led JSW is looking at buying up to 48% of MG Motors India. According to a report, 5 to 8% stake in the Chinese-owned company could be sold to dealers and Indian employees. China's SAIC will retain the remaining stake in the company. The proposed plan, reportedly approved by the Indian government, aims to ensure that at least 51% of equity is held by Indian entities. That's where we leave it on the show tonight. Thanks so much for watching.